Welcome to Seniors on the Move. I am not your host, but your host is here. I am, in fact, Karen Henderson. I am the general manager here at Westborough TV. And today we've switched chairs and we're going to switch things up a little bit. And I am actually going to interview the host of Seniors on the Move, who you are very familiar with, my very dear friend and our community producer and host of Seniors on the Move, Karen McKenzie.
Hi, everyone.
Karen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for agreeing to switch chairs and be the interviewee today.
It's a really different feeling. Now I know what people go through.
Right. No, it's really nice of you to do this. You know, we've talked about it before, but you are coming up on, if it hasn't been show 200 already, we have to be close.
Yes.
And so
Believe it.
I thought it would be kind of fun if we took a little trip down memory lane and talk to you a little bit about kind of the history and how you got started in all of this, and let's learn a little bit about our hostess with the mostest. Okay.
Well, I noticed that, or I didn't see anything that was for seniors, any kind of a show that, you know, talked mostly about seniors. I thought it was time to start. And that's what I did. I think I just walked into the studio at that time, asked them if they were doing anything. They weren't. So, and I was a little bit nervous about it, but I really wanted to do it, and I'm really glad that I did, because there was a need. So that's how it started. At that time, I was the fitness director at the Willows at Westborough. So we taped some of the first shows there. And that was really inconvenient for you folks because you had to drag all of your equipment up there. We decided not to do that. But this is probably the third studio that I've been in that you folks have been working in.
Yep.
And I'm very excited. I can't believe it's been 200 shows. I never run out of subjects. And I feel like you need me, and I need you too. All right, what is the next question?
I love it. That's a good start. See, you're not used to being in that chair.
No,
you're
I'm
used to
not.
being over here. I love it.
I'm working.
But that's great. So you walked into Westborough TV, and what year? About what year was that? Do you remember?
2004.
It sure was.
I
which
do
is why
remember
we're
that.
We're just
20 years. Thank you for mentioning that. I can't believe it's been that long. And I'm not sorry I did, and I was nervous, and I thought the folks that were there would think it was silly that I wanted to do something kind of different. But they said, no, that would be great, and that's how I started.
Right. So to that point, what had been your career? Like, what were the things you were doing?
Always working with seniors. I was teaching exercise classes in Shrewsbury, which I still do, and it's been over 50 years now.
Wow.
So that's kind of another important number to remember. I was in college. I was getting my degree in health science and geriatrics too.
Okay.
So I always wanted to work with seniors.
So you knew that even back when you were at college.
Yes.
How about that?
And started working at the Willows in the exercise room. We called it PEP, the Personalized Exercise Program. And the residents loved it. We think we're the first to do it in Massachusetts, a program in a retirement community for seniors. So I was kind of nervous about it. We were in Who's Who in the Boston Globe. I almost fainted when I saw that. I think we were on PBS television. They talked to me for about half an hour, and they cut everything except the first sentence, I think. But it was still kind of exciting to have that done.
Absolutely.
And we became pretty well known, and we had students coming to visit. See, you're bringing back all these memories, things I haven't even thought of.
Well, and that was all in the PEP room over at the Willows.
Yes, which is a very good size.
Yep.
And then we started inviting the community in to exercise too. And that was even more fun because the community, the residents and the community, they got to talk to each other, and it was kind of fun.
Right.
So then it took off, and I think I started at the Willows in 1992.
Okay.
And left about 6 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So kind of 10, 12 years into that, you decided, why don't I bring this and my interest in elder issues and elder care issues, and you brought it to Westborough TV and became a community producer for Westborough TV.
I felt there was a need. I felt there was a need for it. There's a statistic that I just read that said that the fastest growing population is people over 85.
Wow.
So we are living longer. Why not feel as good as we can? That was in the article, of course, that I did mention that. Everyone, almost everyone can do something. So if we're living longer, we want to stay active. I think the key thing to remember is move it or lose it. Am I right about that?
Yes.
So-
Yes, you
and
are.
what do we do with aging? We're expected to sit and watch television. That's the way it was when I was a kid, anyway. I remember my grandmother sitting in the rocking chair, and maybe she just didn't feel good, the poor thing. But we're finding that we can do more than we once thought. I trained at Boston at Hebrew Rehab at that time. In their physical therapy department, they were bringing in people in their hundreds and putting them on leg extensions and leg pushes and everything. And I thought it was awful. I thought they were torturing them. They said, "We love it." I was sitting in a wheelchair, and now I can get around with a cane. So that's when I really got excited.
Great. Well, and so it's interesting because
Yeah.
kind of with Seniors on the Move, the idea and a little bit of your the work you were doing at the Willows and some of what you're talking about, the whole like move it or lose it.
Yeah.
But then you've expanded in Seniors on the Move to all sorts of different topics, right? And so let's talk for a minute about Seniors on the Move, and then I want to get to some of your other shows that you do,
Oh, okay.
which are a little more focused on movement and
Yes,
staying
actual
active.
classes, like exercise classes.
Exactly. So
Yes.
for Seniors on the Move, you covered a wide variety of topics.
Done just about everything. I can't believe it. Again, I can't believe it's 200 shows. But I've had the head of the Alzheimer's Association. I had a professor from Israel that just wrote a book about aging. He was wonderful. Oh my God, there's so many subjects. I can't even think of them right now because I'm on the spot, but it will come to me. We even did dog visitation. They brought dogs over from Tufts, and residents do love to see them. They bring them into the assisted living building especially. We've done Tai Chi. We've done dentistry. We've done eyes. We've done every part of the body. Can you remember any of them?
We did podiatry recently.
Podiatry.
Certainly, you've talked about diabetes.
Yes, and we're going to do hearing, and we're going to do dermatology, and we're going to do physical therapy. We've done that also, but if I find that a show is really important, we do it again.
Sure.
We just do kind of a different slant on it. So
Absolutely.
if you can think of any subject on aging, we've probably done it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the, when I think about the impact that it's had on the people who are watching, a couple of the topics, you mentioned Alzheimer's and some of the services that are available. So, not just talking about the topics, but talking about the services that are available
Where to
for
live,
people.
the best place to live for whatever you need. We've had people from nursing homes, assisted living communities, just anyone that is doing anything for seniors and seniors themselves that are still active, like me, of course. And again, I never run out of subjects. I'm trying to think. We're going to be doing something else pretty soon. It'll come to me. Just keep talking to me.
I love it. I love it. Well, kind of, we were talking about the different shows and topics you've covered on Seniors on the Move.
Yes.
But then also, you kind of branched out and you also started doing classes at Shrewsbury Media Connection.
Yes.
Our friends in Shrewsbury. And talk about those classes a little bit. And we show those on Westborough TV. They're not filmed here in studio.
That's great.
But we do show those. So that is Fit for Life.
Yeah, this is, I started this when we had COVID, when we were all going through COVID, especially for people that were shut in, seniors that were shut in, couldn't go to classes. So they had me to watch. It's a half-hour show. We shoot 5 every month. They watch them consecutively, and I have had some really good feedback. So it's not a guest show. It's just me doing all of the 6 components of exercise, like strength training and flexibility. We do strength training for 2 of the shows because you only need strength training twice a week. You don't need to do that every day. I teach a yoga class also, so we touch that. Now, because it's only a half an hour class, I just do a little bit of an explanation at the front of the class as to what we are going to do and why we do it. I like people to know that it's not just because it's cute and fun, it's really important to us. You don't have to work extremely hard to stay in shape, but you do have to move.
Right.
Right?
Right. Absolutely. So we show those on Westborough TV. I walk in the door and, as you know, we have the TV set up in the door with all our channels, so we can always make sure everything is going out. And there you are, exercising away. And I know there are people out there doing it right along with you. We've actually had a couple people stop by over time who have asked, like we switched a time slot or something. It's like, this is what I do every day at 11:30. Where's my show? So, so kind of along those lines, and doing that show in Shrewsbury, doing the show here in Westborough. Are you ever out and about and people recognize you? I mean,
yes, that is so exciting.
Pretty big deal.
I always
Karen
thank
McKenzie.
them. They're so sweet. People are kind, and they seem to really appreciate that I have that for them. And yes, they can go online and they can find other TV talk shows or exercise shows. But locally, when people come up, say that it really has helped them. It's non-threatening. Sometimes I think I'm too easy, sometimes maybe a little too difficult, but I ask people to do what they can. We start with seated exercise. We'll do a little standing, maybe holding on to the chair. It's just to get people moving, as I said, get that blood circulating, clearing their mind a little bit. And I've done 200 of those too.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Going strong. I just hope I can do it forever.
I love it.
Maybe that's what's keeping me going.
A little bit, right? A little bit.
Is moving all the time.
Well, moving all the time, and I think hosting the shows the way you do, so you film multiple shows over there in Shrewsbury, and then you're here usually once a month, and finding guests and connecting with guests and getting those good ideas. So let's talk about that for a minute. You, as a host, and you've done this so many times. You're much better at it than I am. I apologize to your viewers who are watching.
No.
But you are so good. And talk about
so
that for a minute. Not necessarily the content of the shows, but talk about being the host of a TV show, because a lot of people do not have that experience, and what's involved. So the things you have to do to prepare, or how do you make that so comfortable? Maybe I can learn.
Well, thank God we have computers and we have cell phones. All you have to do is ask a question. The answer is right there. I am always learning. I never think, well, I know everything about this subject I need to know. Always learning, always reading. And you know what? I think I'm guilty of preaching a lot. In my classes, I do teach an exercise class in Shrewsbury, also at the Senior Center. I have a wonderful group of women, and I just love getting together with them. And I still keep in touch with some of our Willows people too. But again, I just feel like there's such a need. Aging, people don't seem to look forward to it too much. I want to make it more attractive to them. I want them to get excited about being able to do things. And I'm pretty good at encouraging people to either start a class, watch my show, watch the talk show. I would like to write a book about some of the wonderful people that I've met. I've had physicians in my program, I've had ministers and priests in my program, and they all seem to enjoy it because I'm kind of relaxed about things. I don't push people. But yes, go on.
No, I think that you made the point that sometimes you feel like you're kind of for lack of a better term, for preaching to people.
Yeah.
But I think there is such a piece of your having at this point so much knowledge, all the different people you've talked to, and really having a kind of deep understanding of things that will help people in their day-to-day lives. So it's really, you're educating. I mean, I think that that's such a big piece of it, Karen. You connect so well with people, and kind of teaching as opposed to telling them what they should do. You're explaining it to them, and I think that's a big deal, and people appreciate that. And when you are interviewing guests and all, you're such a good listener. And so ahead of time, you come up with a list of questions. You study their topics. How do you prepare for an interview?
Well, I let them look at the agenda first when I'm doing a show. Is there anything here that I shouldn't say or that you don't want me to say? And as we said before, people are a little nervous, but when we're taping a show, we don't have an audience like the way you're listening right now. So I just try to set them at ease, and I think I'm pretty good at that. Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention to people was, no, my health isn't perfect. I do have type 1 diabetes that I've lived with now for 60 years. Told you today, didn't I, Karen?
Yep.
And I think that's why I'm living so long with it. It's because I move. We tend to watch television a lot. Why not just lift your knees up while you're watching, lift your heels up, little kicks with your legs, reaching across. Don't ever sit more than, here I am preaching, don't ever sit more than half an hour without doing anything.
Absolutely.
Because when you put that Netflix on, I mean, you could just sit there for hours and hours. That is very dangerous, not just for your body, but for your mind.
It's a great point to make to people, because
Yeah.
people will, I mean, you get older and there's aches and pains.
Yeah.
And so there is a little bit more of a tendency to be sedentary. And that's okay too. Sometimes sitting in that chair and being comfortable. But you make such a good point about moving. My sister is actually a pediatric physical therapist. And I remember her
wow.
talking at
Yeah.
one point about how they did a study where children who are watching TV, it would be true of adults too, actually burn fewer calories sitting watching TV than they would just sitting. And the reason for that is because sometimes when you're sitting watching TV, you really kind of you'll cradle your head, you're not even holding yourself up, versus if you were just sitting without watching a TV, you'd be moving a little, because there's nothing in front of you to be looking at. So
That's a
you'd be
good
looking
point.
around, you might be shifting, but sometimes when you're watching TV, you just your head even starts to rest into your shoulders. And so it really is true, if you can think about getting into a habit of moving while you're sitting watching TV.
But I learned something.
I love that,
Even
right?
for children.
Amazing.
And as you can see, obesity is very prevalent in this country, not just older people.
Sure.
But part of that is not moving and not burning. You need all 6 of the basic fitness components. You need strength training. What about taking a walk, aerobic exercise? What about stretching? Most people don't stretch after they exercise either, by the way. Proper nutrition. Are you eating properly? Are you avoiding too much stress? Stress is very bad for you physically, as you know, and mentally. So keep that in mind. And just do all you can. Turn on the TV. As I said, take a course, take a yoga course, go to your senior centers. There is something for everyone. Right. There really is.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you talked about Seniors on the Move. You talked about Fit for Life with Karen over there in Shrewsbury, and again, we show that. And then you've also done a number of Fit Facts for us.
Yes, I have a column
Series.
in our local newspaper.
Correct.
Just little tidbits about staying healthy. And what else do? I do I do volunteer work too.
Yeah, great.
Get out and volunteer. That's exercise too, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I interrupted you. You asked me something
No, we were
else?
on Fit Facts, and I
Fit
just want to
Facts,
say,
yeah.
so you write
That's
that
right,
column.
I forgot about that, yeah.
You write that column, but then you come in studio sometimes, and we run those between programming. So you've recorded some of those that you've written here on video, and we like to cycle those through, because again, it's not just for elders, it's for anyone. It's not just for
everybody.
seniors. Absolutely.
Sure.
But I love what you were saying about volunteering and getting involved, because that's another thing. I was just saying to you, what else did you have going on today? And you have a full plate all the time. I mean,
I do.
I love
I
it.
do.
I love it. And being over there at the senior center, I'm hoping we can get you over to our senior center at some point. If we get that community center up and going, offering a
love
new
to.
class over there would be great.
I better stay in shape for that.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
Yeah.
So kind of, we talked about a lot of things, and you've kind of given a little bit, but I would say kind of, what do you think is the key to staying, happy and healthy? I don't want to say staying young, but it's just feeling good and kind of living life to its fullest, which you do. You are the poster child for that, Karen. You come in here and you are positive and you are energetic and you are busy and with a full life. And what do you think some of those keys are to give people? I know you've talked about them in generalities.
This isn't physical exercise, but I think you've got to learn how to deal with the stresses of aging and the world. And I'm trying so hard to do more of this. Meditate, or just breathe slower. Just when you do your natural breathing, slow it down, or the yoga breath where you take a nice deep breath and then let it out slowly. It works. I keep telling people to try yoga also. So yoga is physical, but it's also mental and it's spiritual. It's meditative. So take a yoga class, or Tai Chi is wonderful. Great for falls prevention. And I've tried to do all of it myself. There are some things I want to do more, but I just get wrapped up in all the little things that I'm into. I don't get tired when I'm with people, but I do get more tired now that I'm older, and I try to take a nap now and then. Nothing to be ashamed of. So you've got to manage your stress and take a walk. If you like to dance, stand in front of your television like I do. And when I dance, I don't get tired. As you can see, I'm a type A. I don't ever do that. I'm always moving, moving, moving. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Doesn't that say a lot? What else did you want to ask me, Karen?
You've said that before. I love that
Yeah,
line.
I love that
I love
too.
that line. You also mentioned that you're getting older, and we don't believe you. So none of us who have been watching you, you're always so genuine and honest, but that's not true. She has not, you really haven't. I feel like you don't age.
I'll be 82 this month. Is that what you wanted me to say? You did.
I didn't necessarily need you to say it, but that's incredible. Can we all agree that that's incredible, especially given everything you do? And I have so much admiration for that. I really do. And I've been trying to watch you as you've been hosting, and I'm not learning well enough, but I can learn to stay as active as you. That I can learn.
Good. I hope it sinks in. I really do. For all of you too.
I love
Be
it.
good to yourself. If we're going to be here, do the best you can. You want to look your best. Don't forget your posture. This is very aging. So if I'm going to leave you with one little exercise. Do we have time for this?
Yes.
Just pull your chin in. Look at that. This is old. This is young.
All right.
Yeah.
Right there.
And I
see?
forget all the time, but
Yes. I like it.
so remember that when you're driving, pull your head right back.
I love it. I love it. I want to thank you for
it's
our
a
viewers. I want to thank you from the staff here, the crew. You have always been so incredible to us. It's like a breath of fresh air when you walk in the door, and
thank
we
you.
love having you every month. And I do think it's been such a positive thing for our viewers out there. I've
hope
pointed
so.
people to
I
your
hope
shows
so.
over time when there were topics that different friends of mine with parents who were going through things where I've been able to point them to that. I think it's been such an asset for the town and wonderful for Westborough TV as well.
So have you and the gang here. They do a wonderful job to keep you folks posted on everything.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're celebrating 20 years and almost 200 episodes. We're going to have to count and see if we can get a good count.
I'd like to know.
But she's not going anywhere. We're going to continue on with Seniors on the Move. But it was really nice of you to visit with us and
Thank
have
you
us
for
get a
having me. And
insight.
don't forget to drink a lot of water.
She can't help it. See, she's got all sorts
You
of
got
tips.
it. You have to do it.
And sit up straight. Two things at the end here we've given you. See, it was worth every penny. Every penny. Thank you so much, Karen.
You're the
Thank
best.
You. It's
You're
been
the best.
wonderful. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for joining us on Seniors on the Move with our special guest, Karen McKenzie. We will see you next month with another topic. Take good care.
Bye.